Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. Our set tonight versus Winterfox and Renegades is going to be continuing, and Renegades just picked up the knife round on our second map here, which is going to be Train. So they're going to be able to start off on the CT side. Winterfox, unfortunately, for the second time in a row this evening, is going to have to jump onto the T side, and they're doing it on Train. So things might get a little bit rough for them. Once again, my name is Blue, and joining me here this evening is Mega Man. So let's get into it as the pistol round is getting started right now.
The only difference in that is Winterfox won the knife round on Dust 2 and opted to go onto the T side, where they proceeded to get smashed. And then Renegades finished things off on the terror side, no problems there. So this time around, Renegades win the knife round. They choose to start on the CT side, and that early nade damage is good. JKS going to get an opportunity at a couple here, but Sponge down to 2 HP. It does look like they wanted to go inside quickly, and that's exactly what they want to do. Yam opening up. There's one for Sponge as well. 2 HP, and he finds the kill. Distracted from the backlines is going to be JKS. Sponge finds a second, finds himself up on top of the train, and Yam comes in to sweep the last two under the rug. And Renegades continue to start off on the right foot. They pick up the pistol round, and if Yam starts off with 3 kills in the pistol round and he continues on Train, things are going to get really rough for Winterfox.
Keep in mind that Sponge got those 2 kills as well while he was already down at 2 HP because he had been dinked, I believe, by Lex or Anger earlier on in that round when that nade had hit. So that was way too much damage for the fact that he actually, I don't even think he ever ended up even going down in the round. So
nope.
Impressive pickups from him there. And of course, we see Yam just sweeping in. And they're not able to catch that, so they get shut down pretty easily, and Winterfox are going to have to start off behind once again. Pretty light investment for a second round as well, despite not getting the plant down there, and Flow6 going to go investigating things back towards that ramp area once more. Is forced back, but we do see Lex picking up a first kill with the Deagle. Sponge immediately trading out not only that blow, but also taking down XP3 in the progress there to make sure Renegades still maintain control of things.
Yeah, but now Winterfox has actually gotten out into the outside train yard because of that, but Azur's going to be able to find one, spins around and takes down Flow6, switches over to the pistol, can't take down Anger, but Sponge is over here now. He's got an M4 in his hands off of his fallen comrade, and he's going to be able to clean that one up, so 3 kills on the round for Sponge, and a couple on the round for Azur as well. 2-0 for Renegades. They do have a couple of rebuys here, but it's not going to be too big of a deal as they did manage to save the M4s.
And of course, the guys on Winterfox are going to have to go through one more save before we see the big guns getting into their hands. It's going to see Anger investing into the Deagle. Winterfox's players, ever since they had, I think it was Pitt on the roster, got this like really big, trying to think of a better word to use here, but I can't, so I'm just going to say it. Winterfox's players. What's he doing? Oh my god.
He just barreled out Ivy. He didn't even pop flash or anything. Anger finds one inside. This is looking pretty good right now for Winterfox. But here comes the rotation. Azur finds one, but he goes down to Flowsick. Now it's Yam. He goes down. And now Desi goes down as well as Flowsick. Ustilo coming around on the rotation. They drop the bomb inside. Now it's going to be XP3 and a 1v1 against Ustilo. And he's found himself into a pretty good position here, but the bomb has been recovered by XP3, and he's going to hightail it, actually taking the long way to the outside train yard. So this is a little bit of a risky play here. That's going to give Ustilo time to clean out the box halls. I
think Ustilo, though, should be able... Ustilo's playing this silly enough to where XP3 is going to have an... Where the hell is XP3 going?
He went all the way to Ivy.
This is boy. I'm going to check everything before I put this bomb on the ground.
I mean, that's a huge risk. He's going all the way to Ivy. He's actually going to flank around CT spawn, I'd imagine, and go back to the inside train yard. But Ustilo's still around here.
If Ustilo is still hiding near like Z or something when XP3 ends up coming through CT spawn, that's gonna be such a huge disappointment. Ustilo might go and check it again. Oh, they're gonna see.
There's a dead body in the way though.
XP3 didn't see Ustilo either, but there's 20 seconds on the clock, so XP3 needs to get himself up to this bomb site. And here's the problem: is Ustilo's close enough, he's gonna be able to hear this plant. But no, in a second, he's actually gonna check it. That flash didn't connect, and oh no, it didn't even work. Ustilo stuck around that entire time, read XP3 like a book, and Renegades are going to be able to find a third round pickup.
It was a great thought from XP3. He did a little bit of an around the world there, came all the way back around and made his way to the inside train yard, but Ustilo, it was just taking the gamble, playing one bomb site, waiting for the bomb plant, going for the retake, and XP3 just happens to walk right in, and yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate for him. Now into the first full gun round. No op for XP3. They didn't really get a lot of frags out of the last couple of rounds, as they are on a combined, 7 kills here for the terrorist side. So, Renegades up in the hands of Yam. Could be pretty tough for an outside train yard take.
And now Winterfox get themselves ready to throw in some utility here. over towards the outside bomb site. They've got 2 more players. One's going to fall back and regroup with that main group there outside of T-Con now, but they've got at least one more guy sitting on top of ladder room ready to drop in there and make his attempt at an entry. The problem, though, is Renegades are positioned pretty aggressively to try and stop this exact kind of a hit. Now the timer's gone down a little bit lower. They actually are falling away, but they've got to be ready for it because now the smoke's rolling. Haz is not even really in a good spot either, so he's going to have to retreat up towards heaven there to try and pick up some kills. As Stilo, so far been the big man here in this matchup. He clutched out that last round, moving out, finds 2 kills, taking down Desi and Flowsick, hiding on the train, looking for a third as he drops down and he finds it. That's the bomb, and now looking for the 4th. Not going to be able to grab that. XP3 and Anger do trade out 2 more, but then Azza up top, able to find Anger. It's all on XP3. JKS rushing through the smoke, shuts him down, and Renegades do pick up the first gun round.
It was such a strong spot for Azur to fall back into, getting up in heaven, able to peer over top of the smokes, and with Ustilo in that forward position, he was in front of the smoke wall that got thrown, so he got first contact, was able to call numbers, and then they could rotate fully over to that outside train yard. Really nicely held there from Renegades. They salvaged the ult for Yam. He's going to have that going into this next round, and it's going to be a save here for Winterfox. They drop bomb outside of T-Con, 3 of them going in towards the box halls. See if they go for a fast outside push, because they're going to do pretty much the same thing that they did before. And Yam, he's ready for it. He's going to find the first, looking for the second, but it's Sponge to find that nade kill. Anger goes down at ladder room, Desi inside, and 1 more over at Ivy. So this is pretty much going to be a wash again.
Yeah, there's also no utility for any of these attempts to get themselves out to the sites as well. We saw Anger there trying to get himself out, although we can see Lex making a little bit of progress. He's managed to pick up at least 1 kill, and he brought Sponge down to 13 HP, making him retreat back towards CT.
He's actually out Ivy right now.
The problem, though, is that Desi is in a completely other part of the map here, and Lex is basically on his own, and now Desi's dead, so Lex is actually really completely on his own. He's made good progress, but it's still a fairly predictable position. And the guys on Renegades are basically just waiting for him to come out in the open now.
Azur pushed through. He actually spotted the bomb, and now he's going to catch the back of Lex. Would have loved to see him try to go for a knife kill there, but he's going to play it safe. Takes him down 5-0 now for Renegades. And off and rolling again. JKS, he showed up big time in the first matchup. He's kind of starting off a little slow this time around at 1-1-2, but Sponge was kind of the low man on the totem pole in the last match. He's at 6-1 to start this out. 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. So again, Renegades, they've got 4 players on the team over a 1 FPR. Somebody's going to have to be the bottom of that one. So JKS is going to be that role right now.
Keep in mind that this was also the map where in the first match of the season of Pro League, we actually saw Yam go off and pick up like 42 kills or something like this map on regulation. That was versus Selfless. So Yam can definitely perform here. We've seen that in the past. And we've already seen Ustilo kind of going off in a couple of these rounds. So even if JKS is not necessarily going to be here to play the entire time, you more than likely are going to have Yam on point. And it looks like so far Ustilo might just be able to take JKS's place as the big fragger.
It's actually interesting that you say that. Yam went 42 and 14 in that matchup, and behind him was JKS at 24 kills. So, I mean, that's how big of an impact Yam had, and they won that 16-12. So he got 42 kills in 28 rounds. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous performance. But this time around, it's going to be Lex opening up that outside train yard. Couple of frags for Azur, but not really too terribly much to speak of. It's down to a 2v3. Bomb yet to get planted. Lex is going to be able to plant that. And you can see JKS, he's just sitting here waiting for this peak to come around the side of the bomb train, but Yam finds Anger, bringing it back to a 2v2, and Lex on top of the bomb train. They got to be careful, but he's going to fall back right at that JKS, but he hits the shot anyway. He's down to 2 HP, but it's going to be on Yam here. 1 versus 2. Finds the one, finds the second one, and he will get the defuse. Lex caught sleeping there, and 6-0 now for Renegades.
So Yam already off to a good start, obviously, as we can see from that clutch there. I was about to say Lex has been looking good here, specifically in that round, trying to bounce back a little bit from his disappointing performance there on the last map, but unfortunately did not catch on to the fact that Yam was just going to roundhouse over to the back of him and shut him down with a P250. I think he only had around like 2 or 3 HP left anyway, so not a whole lot that Lex would be able to do. The rest of his teammates falling a little bit flat there with pulling their own weight, and we did see Renegades still shut it down. Currently sitting at 6-0. Winterfox yet to find a round onto the board, but they are coming into another gun round here with full investment and op sitting on XP3 and full utility for all the riflers as well, so maybe they can make an impact here.
Lex just watching for an Ivy push. This is something that they did a couple of times so far from Renegade's side, especially Sponge getting very aggressive over in that avenue, but this time around he's just going to smoke it off, lobs a nade out, and he's just going to play behind that. Flowsick and Desi trying to take control of the box halls. They are up in the upper area, but still a lot of ground to be made up here. And Azure playing underneath of ladder. There is a player at the top of the ladder room right now, and they're going to pop flash down, it looks like, and maybe go for an outside bomb site take. But look at this Sponge getting aggressive again here at Ivy. He's playing behind the box. He's got support from Ustilo. Just trying to pull a little bit of a distraction right now, but now he's going to go ahead and aggress, and Lex on the other side is not ready for that one. And Sponge is going to clear out. Says that there's nobody over there. Anger does manage to refrag, though. Azure in the ladder room goes down, and Anger's got control of that area now, so Renegades, they're going to have to rethink their outside hold, but Ustilo up here in heaven, that's going to kind of be the X factor in this round, because they're going to get all the way up to the bomb site and then realize that they've made a grave mistake in not clearing out that area, so this is going to be a little bit rough for Winterfox.
Renegades are playing very passive on the outside yard, though. Just take a look at their positioning right now with what they do have. They've got a 2-2 split. They're trying to keep these players very close to Z as well in case they need to rotate towards inner, whereas the two guys on inner are nowhere near that Z rotation point right now. Winterfox are definitely still leaning towards the outer hit. They've committed the bomb to it. It's going to be on the way to this site right now. Stilo jumps out of heaven. He had to have spotted something, but as well as teammates sitting behind him, so having those two players there is not necessarily going to be to their benefit. They push forward. Stilo catching one, but XP3 and Desi trading up 3 more for that one. Sponge, JKS, and Ostilo all going down, and it's just on Yam now trying to connect the op shot, not going to find. He's down at 60 HP, and coming out for the alternate tunnel. XP3 is going to be able to shut him down. Flowstick helping out with that, of course. Winterfox do finally get a first round onto the board here. Renegades misread the situation and committed their players into the complete wrong position, so they were not able to hold that outside site at all.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Ustilo stay up in heaven. I'm not really sure why he decided to drop out. That was a little bit unfortunate for him, because it kind of clustered up with his teammate there, and they weren't able to line up the shots that they were looking for out in that area, but this time around, it's going to be another buy-up. A Mag 7 in the hands of Ustilo, a Deagle for Sponge, and a UMP for JKS. So this is going to... Oh, this is actually going to be really rough. Well, never mind. XP3 was watching towards the Ivy push, but now he's changed his direction over here towards T-Con. Maybe they heard something over in that area. But he needs to reassess and look over in this area because they've pushed out. He misses the shot. Yam's going to take him down. So big mistake from Winterfox to start this round off.
Now the question for Winterfox is how do they proceed from here, as we have seen them really struggling back on that Dust 2 map when they actually when they lost the opening advantage, when they went down to 5v4s. Renegades oftentimes just shut the round down from that point forward. Winterfox seemed to lose themselves when they went down a man, so they're going to regroup themselves in the back of the B bomb site and make an inner hit. But here's the problem: Renegades already have 3 players committed to this one, and they're ready from all angles of the push now, not even holding back on the site either. They've got players ready to watch out for a ramp push. They've got players watching up heaven. Sponge might be a little bit of a harder player, might be a little bit of a harder angle to pick up some kills. He does end up going down, but Azure trades him out immediately there from upper. Now the rest of the players, they're going to try to push down the ramp. However, Flowstick finds the entry, takes down Azza. JKS responding there, holding for the plywood position. He only picks up 1 kill. Lex trades that out. It'll be a 2 versus 2, and Flowstick being super aggressive right now, pushed up just behind the Z train and jumping out. He takes out Ustilo. Now it's just down to Yam to pull out a clutch once again, but he might not realize just how close these players are to him, so he has to play this very, very cautiously. What he might not realize, though, is that Lex is down at 1 HP, and Flowstick is actually just going to run to the back of the B bomb site by going through Z. Doesn't even want to take the close-up duel versus Yam.
Yeah, and this is going to be a save now from Yam. Not a bad call in this situation. Of course, he doesn't realize that those players are actually as low as they are, so not going to re-aggress onto that bomb site. He's going to hang on to the op for the next round and try to do some damage. But Winterfox, they string 2 together. And not the most convincing fashion, but getting the rounds on the board. Much needed rounds on the board at that. And Lex actually dies to the bomb. So instead of only having 3 rebuys, they have 4 this time around. And their money is not that great. Desi does have money to drop XP3 and AWP if they so desire. And it looks like they're actually just going to toss that over to him anyway. So Winterfox pick up their second round. It's going to be another gun round for them, but Yam, the only one that's going to really have any kind of option to set up a strong defense, and he's going to take the op to the inside train yard because that does seem like where Winterfox has been favoring so far in this map, and he's going to get hyper aggressive inner upper. He might be able to find a pick or 2 early on in this one, but XP3 is posted, and XP3 is ready.
XP3 shutting down Yam. They push out. They did find that player down at the bottom of the ramp, but Flowstick's not able to connect shots on the JKS or Azza, who also just jumped down from upper. Anger, in the meantime, finds another kill on the outside yard, and they're going to switch the play up to here. Flowstick still keeping the fake alive to a certain degree, before Sponge moves up on top of the train and takes him down for free. So they take him down, but without any of the remaining players on Renegades having armor or anything to make this a valid sort of retake, they are going to fall back once more and try to save the big guns.
Yeah, Azure was actually at the inner upper area right behind Yam, so he was able to salvage that op immediately after he fell, so they wanted to make sure that they hung on to that as much as possible going into the next round. It's just a little bit unfortunate that Yam wasn't necessarily ready for that peak to come out from XP3, but Again, Winterfox, this is kind of the same situation as what happened in the last match. I believe it was actually 6-0 at the beginning of that one, and then Winterfox was able to pick up a couple of rounds. And then they just got completely annihilated for the rest of that half.
JKS shutting out Lex here in this round, so some good damage being done by the guys on Renegades. However, they do lose Sponge. That wasn't the op, so at the very least they get to keep. So actually, yeah, they do lose the op for the T side, and that actually gets transferred over to Renegades. So now they're going to have a double op set up for free. One, of course, going into the hands of Yam, and the second one looks like it's going to get tossed over to Sponge.
That was a really expensive mistake at the end of that. There was no reason for Winterfox to go for the hunt right there. They knew that it was coming into another gun round. Now they've given up a double op setup here to the Renegade side basically for free. So that's a huge mistake. They ended up having 4 rebuys as opposed to carrying 4 guns over into this next round. So that's a mistake. Desi slow peeking the ramp. That's also a mistake, as Yam's going to be able to capitalize. And now Anger gets aggressive, and Yam's not going to have any of that. It takes him down. He's holding the inside bomb yard by himself. Ustilo getting aggressive at T-Con goes down, but Flowsick, he's going to be peeking out relatively wide. He's still behind the blue train, but they've got Azur and Ustilo over here. They're going to take a couple of pop shots here, and Flowsick is going to get chipped down a little bit low. Azur trying to get out away from that Molotov. He's up on the ladder, so he's not going to burn, but he's going to have to take a fight, and he actually drops down, does the damage. JKS finishes off 1. XP3 is going to be there as well as Azur burns, so we're down to a 2v2. That inside bomb site is wide open.
The decision becomes the issue here now for Winterfox, is where exactly do they take this? Because the Renegades still do have 2 players sitting on the outer yard. They are going to be moving the bomb out to investigate what's going over towards Ivy, but they don't spot anything aggressive moving in from there, so XP3 moving the bomb in through T connector. Trying to see if he can regroup with his teammate, but 40 seconds left on that clock. They got plenty of time to work with it. The problem, though, Flowstick goes for the peak there on the Ivy tunnel, and Sponge is going to be able to take him down. XP3 has just been tagged on a 17 HP as well by Yam. So now XP3 is in a very tough position. He's been spotted. They know exactly where he's coming from. It's 1 op versus 2 ops here. So he's got to be extremely cautious with the way he plays this. And with 20 seconds on the clock, he's going to go for an inner rotation instead. At the very least, he should be able to escape with a bomb plant on this one, because I don't think they're going to catch him in time. But, oh, he's waiting this out, trying to see if he can catch Yam, and he spotted him there. But, again, bringing that timer down very low and taking a risk on getting hit by a Molotov or something at this point. Also, now he's going to be playing up close with 17 HP. That's not advisable. A good pop flash holds these guys out initially, but then Yam jumps over, gets the midair headshot on the XP3, and is going to close out the round in the favor of Renegades.
Yam's up to 13 kills now. Sponge, that double up setup does pay off. He was just able to sit down on Ivy lane the entire time and finally find that pick on Flowstick. They had to have known that he was out, because he'd been, you know, kind of lollygagging over there by that blue train for a really long time during that round, and patience perseveres. Sponge going to be able to find that one. And finally, XP3 goes down in the end. And now, even with that bomb plant, that resets the economy on the Winterfox side. Even though they won 3 rounds in a row, it was because they had such heavy casualties, because they went for the chases. They ended up with 1 alive at the end of round 8, 1 alive at the end of round 9. Now they're going to go a little bit more aggressive towards inside, and this is the right call. Yam is going to be stuck back here. He's going to be looking for a couple of kills. He's going to get swarmed, and he does go down. XP3 is going to be able to capitalize on that, and now they're going to push on forward into this train yard. Azur is going to be able to find 1. Still looking for more. It's going to be JKS to clean up 2 more, but they do get the bomb plant, so mission accomplished in the round.
The guys at Winterfox are like too bloodthirsty, it seems, in these situations where they get themselves started off with 1 kill and they move out. The problem is, though, is that you gotta remember, you guys are still playing with pretty lackluster guns versus your opponents. So getting out there and trying to get in these aim duels is not going to be most advisable. They find themselves out in the open so much, and Renegades just hold back. They play passively there because they know they've already got the forward position, so they can just sit and wait for them to peek, and that's exactly what happens. They're fed potentially 2, 3 kills for free, and they immediately bounce that round back into their favor. But Winterfox get a plan, of course, so they'll be able to have some extra cash heading into this next gun round. But ultimately, again, falling behind at 8-3, they need to start impacting and making this a closer half. Otherwise, Renegades is once more just going to have a huge advantage to end their first half, just like we saw back on Dust 2.
And one of the things to actually note is that in the 11 rounds that have played out, they've gotten 5 plants on the Winterfox side. That's pretty proficient getting into the bomb sites. It's just that they haven't been able to win the aim duels when the retakes are on. I mean, 2 out of the 3 rounds that they won were off of the bomb blowing up. 3 out of the 5 rounds that they planted were off of diffuses. And now you see Ustilo getting aggressive, or re-aggressing at Ivy. He's going to be able to find one. Yam just holding stalwart here at Z. Not going to have any of that. And oh, Sponge. Oh, boy, Sponge. Oh, there you go.
Got it anyway. No problem.
I thought for a minute that Desi was up there just staring at him for like 2 minutes in that round. But he does finally adjust, does get the kill. He does eventually fall, but they salvage the double up into the next round again. And ever since they picked up these 2 ups here on the CT side, they've strung every round together.
So now sitting at 9-3 here on Winterfox again, being put onto another just upgraded pistol around here. We're just seeing P250s, a little bit of utility, Deagle. The problem with bringing utility to these rounds, though, is that we're not really seeing it utilized all that well. And just in that last round specifically, when they all had full utility stacks, we saw at least 2 players die because they just peeked out of an angle without using flashbangs or anything. So Yam or someone else holding an angle to defend that just shut them down because they went out into the open with no intel. So unfortunately, Winterfox's players are not utilizing their utility properly, and they're oftentimes giving away lives for free because of that, because they want to play so aggressively, and they're not using the utility to try and support that playstyle. JKS finding a 2-for-1 before he's traded out by Flosick. Yam up close, finding another pickup, and then Azza right next to him there finds another kill, and Yam getting the leg shot there on XP3 to finish things off. Winterfox do force another plant here, but ultimately are going to do very little damage to Renegades.
Yeah, and that's really the big thing right now. Even with these bomb plants, it doesn't make a difference because they're not getting rounds on the board. And, I mean, again, we're seeing another tremendous first half from Renegades. They've still got an opportunity to 12-3 this half. Winterfox, they need these last 2 rounds. 10-5 is at least manageable getting over onto the CT side. There's actually a matchup earlier, I believe, today between Liquid and Optic on Train. And it went like 14-1 or something like that in the first half, and then Optic actually brought it back and won in overtime.
That was last night, right?
Maybe that was last night.
It was last night.
Okay.
That was Sivo, I think.
Yeah, that was in Sivo. So that was, nothing is impossible once you switch over and get onto the CT side of this map. So we'll have to see if that's going to be possible here for Winterfox, because they're going to be pretty far behind at the end of this half.
So Renegades using a lot of their utility early on here to try and hold back the players in the back of the B halls. I think they have a pretty good feeling that they're sitting up in here right now. We've got those aggressive positions being taken as well on the outer site, and with JKS finding that kill there on the Flosick, now he can fall back a little bit just in case the guys on Winterfox wanted to push down the ramp to look for a trade. We'll be grabbing it pretty early on here, but the counter flashbang rolls in from the inner sight there. It does connect, but unfortunately is not going to be used too effectively, as they do end up losing Yam there with that play, as it didn't hit the guys that were further pushed over there towards the upper entry point. But then JKS still gets 2 more kills, shuts out Anger and Lex. The entire push from ramp is dead, and then he gets a headshot on the Desi as he falls down. It's a mid-air headshot. Why the hell not? XP3 finally responds with at least 1 pickup, but now he's alone. He finds a second one. He's got this into a 1 versus 2, but he's got to be careful because Ustilo is looking for the flank. I think it was called, but XP3 not going to be able to connect that shot over there on the Azza, and now he's very, very low. Azza just going to switch over to the USP, finishing him off, and Renegades find their 11th round here.
It was a huge round from JKS. We said he started off slow. He was like 1-5 or 1-6 at the start of this match, and now he's 13-8. So he's definitely picked it up going into the second half of this first part of this matchup, and doing some work now. That was a beautiful shot on that player that was dropping down out of that smoke. Just appeared out of nowhere, and he hits the headshot midair. That was really, really beautiful. And look at this Sponge getting cheeky with this spam going up into the brown halls. So interesting decision. Goes for the Scar 20. Azza outside, going to open things up, finds the first frag. Ustilo, he's in the back lines right now, but he's going to pick the opportune time to pounce. Finds one. Yam around the backside, hits the no-scope. Still looking for some more outside. And he shouldn't have too much of a problem cleaning these last couple of kills up. Last man's XP3 over here by Old Hell. And he goes down to JKS. So 12-3, Renegades with a tremendous first half on the CT side. And a pistol round victory away from potential match point.
And for the guys on Renegades here, feeling very confident, obviously with no reason to feel the other direction. Winterfox on that last round specifically just looked like a complete mess. That shot from Yam where he jumps up onto the bomb train is sitting there for like 2 seconds and then just no-scope someone that's directly in front of him. That should not be happening. Someone should have been able to spot him and communicate that by that point. So things are just not looking very cohesive at all here on Winterfox. And if Renegades even try anything tricky at all here, like just a single smoke into one of these sites, with how much of a mess the Winterfox comms seem to be, I imagine that sort of strat would be working very well for Renegades here, and they can easily take control of these sites with that. So assuming they win this pistol, they should have no reason to worry at all about winning the rest of this match.
Well, on CT side it does too. It was a 5-man peek in mid. This time around it's going to be a 5-man push on T side train towards Ivy. And they net themselves the first kill. XP3 overextending way too much there. He throws his life away. Lex is dinked and very low. He's going to peek out, and Yam's going to find that one as well. So just really just discombobulated here on the Winterfox side. I don't know if it's just a lack of communication going on or just thinking that they need to make a hero play or something like that, but they just threw away 2 kills there that were absolutely unnecessary. And now Flosick at the end of Ivy, probably going to get caught out here. Yam is right around the corner. He's going to have a lot of bodies thrown at him here in a second. And he's actually going to throw a pop flash. Never mind, that was a decoy. And Yam is ready. So 3 kills on the round now for Yam. Last one going to be in T-Con, or pardon me, the Zed hallway. And Ustillo is going to make short work of that. Renegades pick up the pistol round. And, I mean... Not much that Winterfox can do.
Renegades don't even use all their utility right now. There's a smoke on Ostilo and another smoke and an HE on Sponge. I think there might have been something else on somebody else too, but those were all carried in from the pistol round. They didn't even need to use the utility they invested on. They were just easily picking up these kills. Lex at one point there literally gave his life away by walking back out into Renegades that were still spraying through the smoke there on Ivy. Like that kind of stuff is what's just throwing it away for Winterfox at this point. They're not even really going to invest in this round, as we can see. For the most part, they're just taking this round as it is. They're probably, I'm going to take a guess here and say that they might be they're just trying to make sure that that first gun round is going to be as efficient as possible. But again, on these ecos, they're just not bringing anything to the table at all. Anger gets shut down and a single kill goes on to the Renegades, and they're going to have to save for one more, which is the worst part.
Yep. So Renegades are going to be on match point before all is said and done, and this is just going to be, I mean, this is just a really rough match here for Winterfox. Hopefully they come back stronger from this, but this is just really, really rough for him, so tough times for the Winterfox crew. But again, you know, there you go, again with the scout in mid. Yam tagged Flowstick last round, and he hits him again this time around, and it's just going to be another brawl inside. JKS opens up, first player down and out. Flowstick trying to get aggressive over here by ladder, meets his demise at the hands of Sponge, and Azur pushing up towards the Z hallway. Anger does manage to answer back with 2 kills at nade. A little bit short, not going to be able to connect on that one, but they know that he's over here in CT spawn. He's going to have a really tough time getting out of this one alive, and he just fired a couple of bullets. Yam coming around the side. Anger's going to be able to find a 3rd frag for the round, but that's all he's going to get. 15-3 now. Renegades in complete control of this matchup. I mean, they've got to save 12 match points on the Winterfox side.
And all those 3 kills do is just recycle the guns. They get them dropped, and now they can sort of justify buying up to the AKs this time around here to try to close it out. Winterfox, they get 1 investment. Not even going to see an op, unfortunately. There. Actually, I'm correcting myself. XP3 is able to afford an op, although it has to get donated by Anger, I do believe. So they'll get that op for these guys. Renegade's still in complete control, and now if Winterfox want to win this, they have to go 12 rounds in a row and then take it into overtime to close it out as well. So things, to say the least, are not looking good here for the CTs at this point. Renegades have already lined up a pretty default hit over here towards the outer yard. A couple players moving in through T-connector. A lot more actually dropping in through the ladder room. So we're going to see how this goes. But Winterfox do have a semi-decent lineup, and they're able to smoke it off. So Renegades might have a little bit of a tough time getting themselves initially out onto the site if they still decide to go through with this hit.
Yeah, they're playing heavy outer yard. They've got one for the fast rotation over by the Z hallway, and that's Flowstick. He's got a smoke out. Probably going to drop that, I would imagine, to ladder room. He's going to refresh that smoke. And that's actually not a bad idea, because there are 2 players that are over there in ladder room right now. They're trying to work their way around out the back of that, but Desi's going to be able to open up. That's the inside bomb site. But Anger goes down to Yam outside. So still keeping the Winterfox crew guessing. They get a kill inside, but then there's a player outside, so it's like, all right, well, where are they going to be hitting right now? They've got that player Flowstick over here in connector, still waiting for that push to come inside, and that's exactly where it's going to be. So Desi's going to have a whole lot of work ahead of him. He's in a position, pretty good spot to pick up a kill, but it's going to be Yam that he's going up against, and Yam does have the AWP, and they're actually going to smoke that off, so he's not really going to get too terribly much of an opportunity, and they're already going to get into this bomb site, so it's Flowstick to try to hold this one down. He's going to be able to find the first one. Azur is going to be able to find Lex. Flowstick goes down. Desi goes down. It's all on XP3 to save the match. 3 versus 1. Bomb getting planted. They've still got control of the inner upper halls, and he's getting flanked around the backside of the train yard, and Az is going to be able to finish that one off. So 16-3 is going to be your final score. So in 2 maps, Winterfox managed to get 7 rounds.
A very rough night, to say the least. And again, the usual suspects going off, as it would have seemed for the guys over here on Renegades. Stilo having himself a pretty good game, up at 19-10, and then Yam just dominating the playing field at 22-7 once more. Most of the other guys as well did pretty well. JKS a little bit shyer in this game, I do believe, but still a very respectable 18-9. Same thing for Azza. So Renegades dominating it, and unfortunately for Winterfox, they have a lot of work to do if they want to try to bounce back in this season at all, because that match, unfortunately, just looked pitiful at certain points of it there. They just look completely out of their mix.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing right there is, I mean, Renegades, with the exception of Sponge, who started off relatively strong in that matchup. I think he was like 6-2 at one point. He finished at 12-8. But everybody else, I mean, 18 kills for JKS, 18 for Azza, 19 for Ustillo, and 22 for Yam. I mean, a team that frags together wins together, and that's kind of the way that match and the previous match actually ended up. Because if you look at the Dust 2 score lines as well, I mean, it was 21 kills, 23 kills, 17, 15, and 12. So I mean, across the board. Sponge got 24 kills in those 2 maps. That's almost how much JKS got on Dust 2 alone. And they still only let 7 rounds slip by. So really, really well played from Renegades. They're able to lock that down, get 2 wins on the night, and they extend their score to a 5-1 on the season. So that's a really good start for them. The next matchup that we're going to be seeing, guys, is a doubleheader between Splice and Team AGG. It's going to be on Dust 2 and Inferno. So we'll be back here in a couple of minutes for that matchup, guys, so don't go anywhere.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.